Welcome, welcome. My name is Writer Maven. I am the host of the Wrestling Review podcast. I cover all things Judgment Day, Dom, Liv, Raquel, Finn, JD, Roxanne, and poor Carlito. This week was very eventful for those of us who are Dominik Mysterio fans. He has finally declared himself the king of the Luchadores. We knew it was coming, but it finally happened yesterday when he showed up at AAA's Arlenas and declared himself king of the Luchadors and will be going for Vikingo's Mega Championship against Vikingo, El Grande Americano Dos, and Dragon Lee. I'm going to get into all of that because there's been a lot of interesting developments that can impact Raw and SmackDown. Not SmackDown, it's going to impact SummerSlam. It can impact SmackDown too, but it's going to impact Raw and SummerSlam. And then we have to talk about if they're finally shifting Dom's character into the aggressive Dom that we have seen at Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, and even recently as Monday Night Raw. But first, let's get into something silly that I did earlier tonight. There's this little trend going around asking Gronk, the AI of X, and asking Gronk who is the most famous person who has visited your profile. Now, me, I don't usually do all the trends, but I decided to do it anyway because it was getting some people were getting some interesting results. So I did mine. I'm like, hey Gronk, who was the most famous person to visit my profile? It doesn't need to be a mutual. Doesn't don't tag them. Just say who it was. Imagine my surprise when Gronk tells me the most famous person to visit my profile due to known interaction with WWE fans is Dominik Mysterio. I flip my shit. Even if it's, I don't know if it's true or not, but if just the inkling that Dominik has looked at my profile, I'm floored. Seriously. I can believe you can take it with a huge grain of salt, but if you believe it, that's huge. I was expecting Liv Morgan because Liv Morgan has reposted some of my tweets before. So I was expecting Liv because she's reposted some of my stuff. I was not expecting El Jefe himself. So now I'm concerned about myself and wondering if he's seen anything else. Luckily, I don't goon too much over him like I do some other people, but now I'm concerned about myself. What have you actually looked at of mine, Dominik? So I'm concerned about myself. What have you seen, Dominik? Did I scare you away? Are you still looking at my profile, Dominik? So I was totally floored and surprised. If it's true that Dominik Mysterio, El Jefe, Daddy Dom, has looked at my profile. And now we're going to get into some more of the more interesting stuff. Dom was all over social media this week. So we got to see all kinds of social interactions from Dom, what he was up to, and he was just all over the place. Dom has a new Wingstop commercial that features the snake Finn Balor. It also is a dig on Finn too, but it's a commercial, a Wingstop commercial. So Dom is getting his coin, and I cannot be any more proud of him because he is really turning all this stuff into endorsements. He got the endorsement from Lids, and now with Wingstop, and he just keeps going and going and going. I'm so happy for him. I really want him to get that Raising Cane's endorsement because that'll really put him over the top. But I'm just so happy he's getting all these endorsements. I wasn't expecting him to start getting them. Not a lot of wrestlers get this. He's in rare company to get these kinds of endorsements and deals. Usually, it's only like the top people will be getting these endorsements, but he's getting them. And like I said, I couldn't be prouder of him. It is a funny commercial. Go check it out. You can see it on social media. Also, in that same vein, USA Network celebrated Dom's 20 years in the WWE, and yes, that is true. Dom has been a part of the WWE for 20 years. Some could even say that even sooner or later than that, because he was shown on WWE TV as a baby or a really little kid, so he might be even more than 20 years. But officially, because they count his showing up at SummerSlam 2005 pay per view for the custody battle between Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, so they count that official there. So he's been on WWE TV and a part of the WWE for 20 years. The USA Network has a nice graphic of successes at SummerSlam because they pretty much show us that SummerSlam is pretty much Dom's PLE pay per view because everything major with him happens at SummerSlam. It was interesting to see Rhea scratched out of the picture there, so it's like a tee here with Dom, but it shows off his accomplishments, living Dom Kiss, all that. So his debut against Seth Rollins, it's all a part of that little graphic USA Network threw up, and it's cool. Go check that out. Also, in the same vein, we saw Bayley sporting the OG Dom and Liv T-shirt. It's the prison T-shirt, you live in dirty, where they have their prison mugshot. Dom is the 619 and Liv is 20. I think she's her area code is 203. So she had that T-shirt on. That's the OG Dom and Liv shirt. And I waxed poetically that if Bayley is turning heel, and I want her to turn heel because she can be heel with her bestie Naomi. But if Bayley turns heel, I need her to join up with Liv and to join up with Dom and go harass the shit out of Michael Cole. I need it. All of them. Just get after Michael Cole's ass. Seriously. I've been talking about Michael Cole's ass and how he's just pretty much ruined the Judgment Day part of the storyline. I'm probably gonna have to do some kind of video to show why. Maybe next week coming up. I'm not sure when. SummerSlam is right around the corner, and I'm not sure if I have the time to break that down because I'm kind of over it at this point. But all I can just say, but y'all know how I've been talking about Michael Cole. He's pretty much ruined the Judgment Day storyline, at least on commentary, because nobody knows where the wind is blowing character alignment wise with Finn and Dom because of the way he'll just run down Dom and then he'll run down Finn. So I just need, if Bayley turns heel, I need her to join up with Liv and Dom to run down Michael Cole. Just give me that one time. Just give me one time. Then they can go their separate ways. But I just need one time of them joining together to beat Michael Cole's ass. Also, Liv has been retweeting Dom as well. I noted with some of my people on my group chat that this is a lot more than what Rhea did. And that actually shows how much in communication Dom has stayed in with Liv, because Rhea didn't reach out at all last year. And that's the key difference here. People want to keep saying like this Cole was speaking out his mouth and speaking out his ass, saying, "Have you talked to Liv? Have you talked to Liv?" He's been talking to Liv, and Liv has been retweeting. She has been doing a lot more than Rhea, because Rhea would only find her time to retweet or support Damien, which I was calling bullshit last year. If y'all were following me last year, I was saying how bullshit that was, because you had your boyfriend who just came back from an injury and you couldn't retweet that, but you could find it in your heart to retweet and support Damien. Anywho, now we get to Dom and AAA. So on Friday night, they had AAA Elenas, and we had El Grande Americano Dos going up against Octagon Jr. People were surprised about how El Grande is being liked in AAA. First of all, Grande fits a certain character archetype in Lucha Libre. Same thing with Dom. They both follow distinct patterns. Dom is a luchador, but he's a luchador in a specific sense that disrespects lucha traditions. There's a specific character type for that type of person, for that type of heel and that type of person. So Dom fits that character type. El Grande Americano fits another lucha libre archetype. So they're going to get cheered in, he's going to get cheered in AAA, especially now that Ludwig can speak some Spanish and he actually brought up Octagon lore. He talked about he's not supposed to be wearing that mask anyway, talking about Octagon Jr. So he actually studied and actually went into Octagon Jr.'s history and lore. And that is some deep shit right there because there's whole lore regarding Octagon and Pentagon and all of that, all the characters in AAA and Lucha Libre. So for El Grande to go that extra step with referring to that story and that lore will put you over with the crowds. So he's gonna get over. And he's like I said, he's a specific character type. What people didn't like about El Grande Americano in the WWE, because first of all, it was it was pretty much insulting to Lucha Libre. Dude, El Grande was over here unmasking luchadors on Raw and on TV. That's what people didn't like. He's not doing that in AAA. Now, I will hold my tongue if he starts doing that in AAA. But until he does that in AAA, he was doing that in WWE. So I can get why people will be upset about luchadors getting unmasked on TV just for that particular gimmick. So it's like El Grande in the WWE is completely different, or at least the character is different than what's presented in AAA. It's kind of like how Dom is like right now, but I'm going to get into why he might be getting closer to that aggressive side that people wanting. But anyway, we had El Grande face up against Octagon Jr. He beat Octagon Jr. And then he would confront Vikingo, who is the current AAA Mega Champion, regarding the championship. That brings out Dragon Lee. And then Dragon Lee and Vikingo get rid of El Grande. Now, imagine our surprise when we see a masked figure take out Kingo and Dragon Lee, beats up on Dragon Lee, and when he unmasks himself, it's Dominik Mysterio. If y'all looked at the social media where y'all heard the crowd, that pop was huge. Dude was wearing his Intercontinental belt. He picks up the Megas Championship and pretty much wallops Dragon Lee with it. So he's knocked out Dragon Lee with the belt. And then he cuts his promo, pretty much inserting himself into the Megas Championship match and declares himself King of the Luchadors. That is huge. We knew that he was going to be declaring himself as King of Luchadors soon because it's been trademarked by the WWE. But it's huge for Dom to bring up King of Luchadors and declare himself King of Luchadors. He's holding both belts, and he has shown the aggressive side that we saw at Worlds Collide and recently with AJ Styles on Raw. Now, what we are hoping for, we want Dom's aggressive side to continue to come out on Raw. I'm going to get into how this can happen on Raw because because of what happened in AAA, we can have a whole bunch of convergence happening on Raw coming up. So, but the main thing is that we want Dom's aggression. But since it started on Raw, I have reason to believe that it will continue on Monday Night Raw. We want Dom's aggression. We don't want it to be that one off where we were excited about Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, only for him to revert back that following Monday, because that was so disappointing that he reverted back. Or it wasn't really a revert. It was just like they ignored what happened at Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. But here, since we have AJ was taken out aggressively by Dom, and AJ and Dom cleared himself, we're hoping that aggression carries over to Monday Night Raw. So, like I said, we will see if this will continue on Raw, and I'm going to get into how this can continue on Raw a little bit later on. And this could give us the opportunity for Dom to be a double champ. Now, it is possible. JC Jane has shown us that it is possibly a double champ in the WWE. And if they want somebody to carry the AAA brand because WWE has purchased AAA, then you could just throw it on Dominik. And no, this does not decrease Dom's chances at SummerSlam. People were all worried, well, how come maybe AJ wins? Nah, that does not mean that Dom will lose the title at SummerSlam. You can still have Dom win at SummerSlam and then lose at Triple Mania. It's a fatal 4-way type match. So and he could even still not get pinned in that match at Triple Mania. So just because he's in that match doesn't mean that he's going to be losing the match at SummerSlam. In fact, I think this increases Dom's chances because if you want to keep him, you want to have him as a double chance. This is the way to do it. You pull the trigger. Have Dom retain the Intercontinental belt. Have Dom win the Mega Championship for AAA, and he's king of Luchadores. Simple. And that's pretty much that's probably pretty much how they wanted things to go. It'll just be Dom is the king of luchadors. He'll be reigning for AAA, and then he'll have his Intercontinental belt. And this could actually kick off something between Finn and Dom and Judgment Day, and I'll get into that in a bit. But give me just 1 second. Let's talk a little bit about SummerSlam. They did post the match card for SummerSlam Night 1 and Night 2 this Friday. So we have Raquel and Roxanne against Alexa and Charlotte on Night 1, and AJ versus Dom on Night 2. That's huge because I'm thinking pretty much all the major shit happens on Night 2. I do expect Raquel and Roxanne to lose the championships on Night 1. I'm really hoping that AJ and Dom get some kind of stipulation for their match because they're pretty much the only match on Night 2 without a stipulation. Like John Cena versus Cody Rhodes is a street fight, and if they throw the tag teams on there, that's tables, ladders, and chairs. Yeah, Solo Sikoa and Jacob are a steel cage match, and then Becky Lynch and Lyra was that no holds barred or something like that. So pretty much every match except for Dom and AJ has a stipulation, and then Naomi, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley is a triple threat. And then somebody said Rhea Ripley is the stipulation for that, so haha on that. But that's at least a triple threat. So you got Dom and AJ being straight vanilla there, and I'm really hoping they give us. I really want them to do the ladder match on that, but I don't know. But I wish they get some kind of stipulation on that one. But Raquel and Roxanne losing on Night 1 just will pretty much continue the Judgment Day's downfall, except for Dom, because I do expect Finn and JD to lose on Monday Night Raw, because I do think they're going to be facing LWO that's coming up Raw. I don't think it's going to be Raw after SummerSlam. I think it's going to be before. I am still on the prediction that the early prediction for me is still that they lose all their titles except for Dom. Dom is going to be the only one to retain. And I think that's what finally kicks off the Judgment Day implosion. They had to hold it because Liv got injured, because I think something was going to go down at Night of Champions. But since her injury happened, they had to hold off of it on it a bit. They gave the New Day the titles to kind of stave off it, to put it in a pause. But now that SummerSlam is coming out back, and I'm really sure that Liv is coming back, now they can finally pull the trigger on some things. And you can just have it where Dom is the only one that retains. So for Monday Night Raw, what I'm expecting for Judgment Day is that we need to see Dom's aggression. And I really want Dom and Finn to have friction regarding what Dom did in Mexico. You could have maybe Finn and JD are getting ready for their match against WO, and he comes up on Dom. He's wondering why Dom went down to Mexico by himself, and Dom's like brushing him off. Maybe this was something that Dom discussed in secret with Liv here. He and Liv have their own plan. Dom, as we saw last week, they just finally decided to execute it and pull the trigger for themselves. And Dom's like, "Don't worry about it, I got it." And then maybe you could show Finn being upset that Dom went and did that in Mexico and in AAA and got himself another. The key here is that Finn should probably be upset that Dom's got himself another championship match. He did not help out Finn to get the Triple H match, and maybe he's a little bit jealous and things like that. Being dimension. Because he wants to come in, maybe he's coming in celebrating Roxanne winning for once. And that's when he sees Dom got himself another championship match. And since AAA is purchased by the WWE, you can bring up AAA now relatively easily, so he can be upset about that. When it comes time for the LWO, and the Judgment Day, Finn and JD have to lose the titles. There's no point with Finn holding on to the title if they're gonna go with Finn versus Dom. They gotta lose it. LWO is the only face team. The other face team is War Raiders, and I don't think they'll just jump from heel to heel. They already did heel to heel kind of with New Day and the Judgment Day, and Finn was getting cheered, so they almost were in a face type role. So that's almost why it worked. But here they just drop it to the LWO, and it doesn't no harm. LWO needs it anyway. They've been around for a while. Give them that shot where they're the tag titles, and then maybe they could drop it off to another heel team, maybe Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, American Made, whatever. During this match, though, this is where a lot of where a lot of the storylines converge. We can have Dom accidentally, on purpose, cost Finn the championship. How? AJ. He will bring Dom could be out there, and since Dom was starting shit with AJ last year and attacked him from behind, you can bring out AJ. And this could also bring out Dragon Lee because Dom took out Dragon Lee in Mexico with that belt. If they wanted to bring up Vikingo, they could bring in Vikingo to fight up with Dom because Dom attacked him as well. And then you can have El Grande Americano. Remember, Dom did talk to Ludwig a while ago. It's a far shot, but that can still be in Dom's pocket. He might be El Grande Americano now, but Dom did talk with Ludwig when he was talking to other people. When he was talking to Carrion and what's his name? Butch. He's not Butch anymore, but you know who I'm talking about. And Ludwig. So maybe he has Ludwig in his back pocket on that. You could converge a lot of storylines with this tag team match, especially if they put it as the main event match. Now, I'm not sure if they will do that because they got Roman Reigns and he takes about 20 minutes to do anything. But and Roman Reigns is actually working on Raw. But you can't have it. You could just have Dom be out there. AJ comes out all pissed off. They start fighting, and it just gives the same kind of. Maybe you can do that momentum shift here, where Dom is kind of taken out by AJ, and that costs Finn the championship. Or you can just have it where everybody gets after Dom because he's been starting shit with everybody. He has Dragon Lee on his ass. He has Kingo on his ass, and he has AJ on his ass, and they could all be going after Dom, and that can cause Finn and JD the titles. El Grande Americano could be out there to fight up with Dragon Lee, and you can have that beef going on as well, but he could get neutralized. I just think it could be a multi-brawl. You can either have Dom and AJ by themselves, or you could just involve all the people. You can have El Grande out there to mess with Dragon Lee. You can even do that. You can have El Grande come out to mess with Dragon Lee first, and then you bring out AJ to mess with Dom, and then those two fights merge up together because Dragon Lee's gonna have shit to talk about with Dom, and then AJ has something wrong, and then they want to throw in Vikingo in there. You can throw in Vikingo. Just have everybody brawl, and that's how Finn and JD lose the titles. You can maybe even have it where Dom does the classic start a fight. You know, heels always start the fight between each other. They do like a little push, or something like that that gets the fight going and then they sneak out. You could even have Dom do something like that. Maybe AJ Dragon Lee, like Kingo, El Grande are in his face, and Dom does that classic Eddie thing of starting a fight, and then everybody starts brawling, and then that distracts the referee and all that, and then Finn gets taken out. Whatever. But there's a couple of different ways you could do this, and that starts all that. You got the brawl. Maybe Dom sneaks away or not, but this is just something that again shows Dom's aggression and shows his type heel work. Because I'm still betting that Dom stays the heel. Because look at how he acted with AJ on Monday. Look at how he acted in AAA on Friday. This is heel. Is he getting cheered? But in this day and age, heels can get cheered and you can still stay a heel. Look at Drew McIntyre. And why was he stripping like that on Friday? I have no idea. But look at Drew McIntyre when it comes to his heel work and getting cheered. He gets cheered, but he's still a heel. I'm still thinking that Dom is going to stay that heel. Because even though I'm railing on Michael Cole's ass for confusing shit, he has not given Dom the sympathy you would think somebody would get for a face turn. So I'm thinking Dom stays the heel here, which means Finn goes face. And I've always said that it would be easier for Finn to go face just because he can just go back to his original music and some other mannerisms and he'll be fine. He can go back to Demon Valor and he would be fine as a face. This could just kick off everything where you shift the sympathy to Finn because he lost the championship due to Dom's shenanigans. And then if you confront, and you can even have it the same night, have Finn confront Dom, and then Dom is just like, I'm busy dealing with shit. Maybe AJ and Dragon Lee and all of them are still chasing after him. And he's busy on his own, doing his own shit. And then he's pretty much leaving the Judgment Day in the dust. He's leaving it behind. And then you can actually get some sympathy there for Finn. It'll probably be a little bit difficult to shift that sympathy, but once Finn gets it, I think he'll be fine. And I really think that Finn turns face. That's why I think they tested it out that's why I was thinking that they were testing out Finn and JD as faces against the New Day. It was easy to get cheered against New Day, but all Finn and JD had to do was just do their special things, be in peril and things like that, and the audience responded. So, like I said, it's just a little bit easier for Finn and JD to go face. With Dom, I think they want to keep his character as is because that's what got him over. You don't want to shift it where he's just a white meat baby face like Cody Rhodes and kissing babies and slapping hands and all that. You want Dom to keep his character pretty much as is because I really don't think they want to shift him face until it's time for Ray to retire. And even when Ray retires, I don't think Dom will be face at the time of retirement. He might be a face after it, but not during it because you have to have Ray as the face. So that's my prediction on that. What Kel and Roxanne do, I don't know. Maybe they're out there for that. Maybe we get another Charlotte and Alexa kind of beat down because Alexa got her nose bloodied up. And Raquel, sweetie, I am really pulling for you, but you couldn't just drop Alexa like that. Woman, why? I'm pulling for you. I'm really rooting for you. I'm really thinking that you got done a bad hand with Rhea's shit. Don't drop Alexa like that. Like that. He got all bloody, Alexa. She did it like a champ. So maybe they'll have maybe Alexa and Charlotte show up to Raw to start some shit. I think Monday Night Raw will probably be a show that starts the shit and gets things rolling because I think this is where they need to start. They really need to show the cracks with Judgment Day. They really need to show the cracks with Finn and Dom, and they probably need to start to show the hints that Dom and Liv are planning things on their own. Because, like I said, I think it works better if Dom and Liv were planning stuff. They know what Finn was up to, and they just beat him to the punch on stuff. Because if you just follow it with just Dom following everything and just going into Finn's trap, that doesn't help Dom's character, especially now. Dom's character falling for Finn's shit when we got the character going on in AAA right now, that doesn't jive. You have to have Dom be one up on Finn here. I'm just now realizing that. You can't have a Dom fall for Finn's shit and then have Dom be the same Dom that was attacking people in AAA. And especially after he attacked AJ. That doesn't jive. So you can't have it like that. Dom's got to be the one to pull the trigger on Finn, or at least anticipate what Finn is going to do.